Hey YouTube, this is Ziggy J. This is going to be a video that's kind of different from the rest of the videos on my channel. The rest of the videos on my channel are more about technology, computer reviews, stuff like that. This is going to be a little talk about women in self-defense. I notice that this day and age, a lot of women are very afraid to go outside by themselves, to go places by themselves because, you never know who's behind the corner, who's in the alley. And truth be told, we do live in safer times in today and age, but things still happen. There's still crime. There's still crazy people out there. Just want to kind of talk about different self-defense, different weapons that women may need to take into consideration. Now, what you see in front of me here is three different weapons that can be used as self-defense. First, here we have pepper spray or mace. We have this is really just a pocket knife, more for tactile things, like if you're in like a car and you need to bust out, or if you're in like the wilderness and you need to cut down a branch or some trees or whatever. This is what this is for, but it very well can be used as a self-defense weapon if it needs to be. And lastly, over here we have a stun gun, an electric stun gun. You turn it on, click the button, and you have your stun gun. So about these three, with the mace, it's just pretty much pepper spray. You spray it in somebody's face area. It will incapacitate their eyes, their nose, their breathing, their vision. With the knife, you can use it to cut, stab, pierce. At the end of this, it has a little bit of a butt on it. You can use that as a weapon in somebody's nose, eyes, ears. And if you need it to use it as a weapon, you can. And with the stun gun, this is one that's the most controversial. I see a lot of women going to stores, particularly flea markets and places like that, and they're buying these things. And really all this is a toy. Most people know about stun guns. They know they're very short range weapons. You have to come in close contact with your perpetrator, or with your assailant, I should say. You have to come in close contact with your assailant in order for it to be effective. You have to actually make contact with their skin in order for it to be effective. If some 200-300 pound guy is on top of you, wrestling you down to the ground, you're going to have to make contact with his skin, his arm, his chest, his stomach, whatever that's exposed in order for it to be effective. And if it's a 200-300 pound guy, depending on his tolerance level, it may not even work. So that's the problem with this. And people get these stun guns confused with tasers. Tasers are what we often see police force use. They're the guns that, you press them and some kind of prong cord is shot out of them, and then electricity comes through that cord and it shocks you. That is considered a long-range weapon, and it works if your opponent is not fast enough to dodge it. Most people aren't, but it works in the sense that it's a long-range weapon, so you don't have to be in close contact with your opponent to use it. This, however, isn't. And I see this, and I actually got this from a flea market. It was $10. And I see a lot of women carrying this around. They have it in cute little pink colors, and it's just so cute. And self-defense is not cute. Being raped, being, kidnapped, being assaulted is not cute. We need to stop worrying about what looks cute to carry and worry about what's effective. And stun guns are just to invoke fear. It's pretty much playing on your assailant's fear, that they are scared enough to think that this is a real threat, when really it's not. It may sting a little bit if you get stung by it or whatever, but it's to be used as a real threat. And to see it as often as I see women carrying it around, especially like I said, the little cute ones or the lipstick ones or whatever, it's not effective. The most effective one of these three would be the mace, because mace is long range depending on the stream. Sometimes you have foam, sometimes you have a steady stream of the pepper spray. but it is a long range weapon, and it does incapacitate your opponent's senses. No matter how strong or how big your opponent or assailant is, they cannot train their eyes to be to be strong against pepper spray. They can't train their lungs, they can't train their nose to not be affected by pepper spray. So pepper spray almost always can take someone down. Now I got this for about $10 off of eBay. It was really cheap. It's a full bottle. I've never had to use it yet, thank goodness. But it's Police OC 17 Magnum. I don't really know if that's significant, but it is pepper spray. Just your normal pepper spray, mace, whatever. And it has a lock and seal nozzle. So when it's straight, it is engaging. You can engage it and actually spray it. But this is when it's actually not engaged. Now with this knife, again, this is a close range weapon. Unless you are some kind of a arrow thrower, you can actually be good at throwing knives. This is for women anyway. It's going to be a close range weapon, which means there's always some risk. She will have to come in close contact with her opponent or her assailant. She'll have to come in close contact with her assailant, and assuming that he doesn't know how to defend against knives himself, she has to be able to cut him where it's not being cut at all is going to hurt. But some people can get cut and they'll keep going. It's better, if possible, to aim for vital spots on the body to cut or slice or whatever. Now, first and foremost, before we get to any weapons, the most important self-defense strategy to me is psychological warfare. Being able to psych out your assailant, being able to talk your way out of being attacked or talk your way into being able to escape is something that women, I feel, should use first if they can. Most people can be psyched out. Most people can be talked down. Most people can be talked out of doing things that they know they wouldn't normally do. So if you're smart enough to do it, use a little bit of psychology, use a little bit of emotional appeal, use a little bit of, intelligence to, talk your way out of a situation. Like, okay, I know you don't want to go to jail, you have a wife, you have kids, or, you have a job, it's not worth it to harm me and go to jail. Sometimes people will reason. Sometimes people will listen. But of course you do have those who won't. And if you need to go to the next step, which to me should be self-defense, that's fine. Taking a self-defense class, learning the vital points on the human body, knowing how to break free of certain holds and certain attacks that your assailant is coming at you with. There's plenty of videos on YouTube of self-defense videos for women. Now, of course, the most effective would be to actually attend a class where you're actually practicing on a stunt dummy and you're actually learning the attacks. But learning the vital points, we all know that the groin area for men anyway is a vulnerable area, but you have to make sure you can even get to that area. A lot of men will guard that area from being attacked. So you have to just know that and know what to do. But if you're not able to psych out your opponent and you're not able to, you're not strong enough or don't know self-defense, then yes, you would have to, resort to weaponry. You would have to resort to guns if, the woman is concealed to carry. If she's licensed to carry, I should say. If she's licensed to carry, you may have to resort to guns. You may have to resort to pepper spray, things like that. Pepper spray would be the most effective tool for a woman because it's a long-range weapon. And she can spray the pepper spray. And I would suggest having a stream instead of foam because a stream, again, is long-range. And even if you spray your assailant's hands in with the pepper spray, he's going to touch his face at some point unless he finds some kind of water supply and washes his hands off. He's going to touch his face, and then that will be enough to incapacitate him right there. So pepper spray will probably be the most effective option. Stun guns, no, these are just toys. They're just nice to look at. if your opponent is I'm not really gonna say if he's stupid, but if your opponent doesn't really know how stun guns work, yes, it's gonna be enough to scare them off and, you know, kind of have them back off of you. But if they're 200 pounds, 6'5", they're angry, or they're really ambitious in what they're trying to do, they really want to rape you, they really want to harm you, there's no talking about it, there's just, they are out to get you, a stun gun really is not going to stop them. It's not going to stop them. And it's not going to scare them either. So if your opponent really wants blood, they're going to come for blood. And a stun gun is not enough. It's not enough because a lot of people know how they work. A lot of people know that they're close range weapons and that you have to be really close in order for it to work. Now, if you have a taser, that's an effective weapon. Tasers are expensive. And of course, they're also, you have to refill tasers. Once you shoot the taser and the cord flings out, you're going to have to either get another cord or, wrap that cord back around. It's just, tasers can be a little, they can be just kind of hard to deal with. They can just be really just complicated weapons to use. Yeah, they're more effective than stun guns because they're long range, but other than that, I wouldn't really mess with a taser too much. A pocket knife, if you're good with knives, you know where to use the knife on the human body, then fine. But a lot of women don't know that. So now if she is in a car, if she's being kidnapped and she's in a car, this little butt right here is enough to break out windows. And then there's a little cutting blade right here to cut through things like rope if she's tied up, if she's able to get through to the pocket knife. And of course, this is used to just cut in general. But and I also got this. So I got all three of these at the flea market. Well, I got these two at the flea market. This was about I think $5. I don't even think I spent $10 on this. It's a quality knife, but I don't think I spent $10 on it. And then this is came from eBay. So these weapons should be last resort. I feel like a woman should always try to talk her way out of a situation first. If not, use self-defense. Whether it's attacking her opponent's vital points on the body, the groin area, because the groin area for both men and women can be vulnerable areas. It's not just a man thing; it can be a woman thing too. Hitting them in the throat, the nose, the eyes, pinching them, grabbing their skin and twisting it. I mean, there's all different techniques out there on the internet and in self-defense classes for women to use. But ultimately, what a woman needs is mace. It's a long-range weapon. It will incapacitate her attacker's eyes and nose. It will make them hard for them to see, hard for them to breathe, to smell, to taste. And it will bring down just about anybody. Nobody can train their eyes. Nobody can train their noses to withstand mace. There's no amount of training you can do to not be affected by this. So that's my little video on self-defense in the world today. Yes, in general, we live in safer times, but I understand that there is violence and crime out there. There are crazy nuts who have nothing better to do but to mess with your mothers, your wives, your sisters, your daughters, your nieces, even men, There are a lot of men who aren't really fighters, and they need other methods of being able to protect themselves. So this is just a weapon. Anyway, YouTube, this is just a video to showcase some of my ideas on self-defense. If you have any other opposing ideas or you agree with something, just leave me a comment below. Thanks.